You'll find the link to AI chatbot crypto tutor prompt in the description and pinned in the comments below. Everyone thinks crypto mining is a climate disaster. That's the headline. The reality is messier, and one hidden fact changes everything. Today, we will examine three myths about mining energy. We will show how miners can stabilize power grids. We will give you a one question test every beginner should use before investing. We will walk through a real case that separates greenwash from real impact. If you want clear research driven crypto guidance without the hype, subscribe now to the channel. We publish a deep breakdown every week for serious beginners. The phrase crypto wastes energy is blunt and dangerously incomplete. Energy use is not uniform. A kilowatt hour from coal is not equal to a kilowatt hour from wind. Mining's impact depends on timing, source, and opportunity cost. Some rigs run on stranded or excess renewable power that would otherwise be wasted. Framing energy use as a single metric turns complex risk into panic. That panic costs investors real money, but nuance can be weaponized. Here is the trap. Don't count kilowatt hours, measure carbon. Carbon intensity, which is emissions per kilowatt hour, is the right lens. Regions with low carbon grids make mining far less harmful. Sometimes some miners intentionally use curtailed renewables energy that would otherwise be lost. If you care about climate impact, focusing on totals misleads you. That leads to bad investing and misplaced outrage. In certain markets, miners actually receive payments to shut down during emergencies. It is counterintuitive, but they act as flexible power sinks. Miners can be paid to power down when the grid is stressed. That paid shutdown can prevent blackouts. Stay with me because I will show where this helps and where it fails. Flexible demand can be a grid secret weapon. Miners provide that flexibility. Miners can ramp loads in minutes. When grids have excess renewable output, miners can absorb it. When demand spikes, miners can shut down to relieve stress. That is often cheaper and faster than firing up polluting peaker plants. This is not academic. It determines whether hospitals keep running during a heat wave, but flexibility alone is not a free pass. There are two red flags you must know. We run on 100% renewables. In a sentence that sounds good but often hides the truth. Many operations rely on renewable energy certificates or offset accounting. RECs do not always mean new renewable capacity. Real progress requires additionality for or the use of truly curtailed power. Believing marketing is comfortable, but it lets companies avoid real change that allows you to feel better without real impact. Here are the two red flags and a checklist that takes minutes to run. First, vague 100% renewable claims are a red flag. Second, location in a coal heavy grid is a red flag. Look for power purchase agreements and on site renewables. Look for participation in demand response programs. Verify carbon accounting and independent audits. Missing these signs leads to misallocation of capital and misplaced activism. Now we move to a debate you have probably heard: proof of work versus proof of stake. Proof of stake cuts energy, but it introduces other trade offs. POS, point of sale, reduces electricity demand, which is a clear win on paper, but POS can concentrate, control, and alter governance. That concentration can change security and economic incentives. Some proof of work projects are funding tied to mining renewables tied to mining. The full picture requires trade-off analysis, not headlines. Choosing a network based solely on energy headlines can blind you to risks that cost money. Here is the single question that makes choosing easy. Ask this: does the consensus mechanisms energy model affect network security or economics? If the answer is yes, energy is structural and matters deeply. If the answer is no, energy headlines are often noise. Apply the question to Bitcoin versus a proof of stake token, and the distinction becomes obvious. This mental model prevents you from being manipulated by headlines. Now, I will give you a practical 60-second checklist to use before you invest. Do this in 60 seconds and you will know whether energy headlines matter. 0 to 10 seconds, identify the consensus mechanism, proof of work, or proof of stake. 10 to 30 seconds, if it is a proof of work, find minor geography and major mining pools. 30 to 50 seconds, look for power purchase agreements, on site renewables, and demand response participation. 50 to 60 seconds, answer the single question about security and economics. Confidence beats anxiety, and this routine gives you confidence. We will test this checklist now with a short case. We will compare two hypothetical coins, solar coin and coal coin. Solar coins miners are a hydro-rich region with PPAs and documented demand response. Coal coins miners operate in a coal-dominated grid with vague renewable claims. Solar coin passes the test, but only if additionality is proven. Facts remove fear and you act from evidence, not headlines. Banning mining can push it somewhere worse. Regulatory crackdowns often force miners to relocate to jurisdictions with dirtier power. Targeted policy that rewards clean practices tends to reduce emissions more effectively than blunt bans. Policy choices have real climate consequences, not just rhetoric. If you remember nothing else, remember these signals. Look for public power purchase agreements or on site renewables. Look for evidence of additionality, meaning new renewable capacity created because of the mining demand. Look for demand response participation that shows miners help the grid. Look for transparent carbon accounting that is independently verified. Look for a low carbon grid footprint rather than operations located in coal heavy regions. These signals put power back in your hands as an investor and a citizen. Shift from counting energy to evaluating context. Energy is a lens, not the whole story. When you apply that lens, headlines stop being panic triggers and become data points. You now have tools to separate noise from truth. That is real power. If you want more analysis like this, fact led and practical, subscribe now and join our community. We break down the signals that matter, not the noise, before you decide to buy or sell based on headlines. Watch our next video on accumulation, markup, distribution, and decline. It will teach you when to act and when to wait. Click to watch that next video and protect your capital.